The galaxy had long believed that humans were weak. Other civilizations laughed at them. They said humans were small, fragile, and scattered across a single, insignificant planet. No one took them seriously except for the whispers. Whispers told of a human who could change the tide of wars, who could face impossible odds and still win. But in the vastness of space, such rumors were dismissed as fairy tales. That was, until the alien queen saw the battlefield for herself. High above the planet Kalara, the queen sat on her throne, her eyes sharp and cold. Her court surrounded her, a sea of alien nobles in glittering armor, all waiting for her command. Reports had come in. Her forces had suffered heavy losses on Kalara, a remote human colony. Entire fleets had been destroyed in ways no one could understand. And the name repeated in every report was Elias Kane. The queen leaned forward, her long fingers tapping the edge of her throne. "So," she whispered, her voice soft but deadly. "It's true. The human champion exists." She did not shout. She did not order punishment. Instead, she watched. Curiosity and fascination replaced the usual arrogance that her people felt toward humans. This human was different. On Kalara, the air smelled of dust and iron. The colony was small, but its people were resilient. Humans had always adapted to harsh conditions, turning deserts into farms and wastelands into cities. Here, they had built a fortress city on the edge of a rocky plateau, surrounded by walls made of metal alloys that could withstand the weapons of even the largest alien warships. Inside the command center of the colony, Captain Elias Kane studied the tactical maps. Lines of red and blue marked the positions of his forces and the approaching enemy. The alien ships would arrive in mere hours. The colony had no chance in a direct fight. Elias knew this. But he also knew humans had a different strength: imagination. "Sense, Captain Kane," a young officer said, nervously pointing at the screen. "They're sending more than 30 frigates, plus a battalion of ground troops. We can't hold them." Elias did not look up. "We're not going to hold them," he said calmly. "We're going to beat them in ways they won't expect. Tell every unit to prepare the traps. Mines in the canyon, drones in the cliffs, ambushes at every choke point. Use the environment. Use their arrogance against them." The officer blinked. "You really think it will work?" Elias smiled faintly. "They think we're weak. They think we're simple. That is their mistake." Outside, the alien fleet appeared over the horizon, massive ships gleaming in the sun. Their weapons glowed red as they targeted the colony. Humans had never faced such firepower before. Most colonies would have surrendered. But not Kalara. Not while Elias Kane was here. The aliens opened fire, and the sky erupted with explosions. Metal and rock flew into the air. But the humans did not panic. They had prepared. From hidden positions, automated drones darted across the cliffs, releasing EMP pulses that scrambled the alien sensors. Mines hidden in the canyon exploded, breaking the alien formations. Human pilots in small fighter ships weaved through enemy fire, striking the frigates in places no alien expected. And all the while, Elias moved like a shadow among his people, coordinating attacks, sending messages, and giving orders. He did not fight for glory. He fought because he had to, and because humans did not give up. By nightfall, the alien forces were in chaos. Ships that had seemed invincible were drifting in the sky, destroyed or disabled. Troops sent to the ground were trapped by ambushes and improvised explosives. In her throne room, the alien queen watched. Her eyes widened. Her spies had never reported a human capable of such strategy, such cleverness. Even her generals were baffled. She leaned forward and whispered again, almost to herself, "It's true. He exists. Elias did not know he was becoming a legend. He did not know the alien queen had noticed him. All he knew was that the colony was alive, that people were safe. And for now, that was enough. The next morning, survivors of the alien attack were captured or fled. Elias and his team worked tirelessly, helping the wounded, repairing equipment, and preparing for the next wave. Humans were stubborn, resilient, and capable of recovering from impossible odds faster than anyone expected. News of the battle spread across the galaxy faster than any message system. Other colonies, previously scared of alien attacks, now began to see hope. Humans were not weak. They were a force that could adapt, survive, and fight back. And in the shadows, in the courts of the alien empire, the story of Elias Kane reached the ears of rulers and nobles alike. The alien queen summoned her advisors. "Find him," she ordered. "I want to see this human. I want to understand him. Prepare a task. A test. If he truly is the human champion, he will face it." Her advisors bowed. Fear and excitement mixed in their expressions. No one had ever spoken of humans in such terms before. To them, humans were weak, fragile, and insignificant. But the queen, she saw potential. She saw something that made her pulse quicken with curiosity. Meanwhile, Elias did not rest. Humans never rested in times of war. He knew the aliens would return, stronger this time, and he knew that survival alone was not enough. Humans had to be ready, unpredictable, and united. He gathered his team, a mix of engineers, pilots, and soldiers. "And they'll come with more firepower. We have one advantage. They don't understand us. They think we fight like them. We don't. We fight like humans. We adapt. We survive. And we win." The team nodded, inspired. Elias's calm confidence gave them hope. His presence alone made them braver. Humans were used to fighting impossible odds, and Elias was the perfect example of that strength. In the distance, the alien fleet retreated. The sky above Kalara cleared, but the tension remained. Elias walked along the plateau, looking at the stars. He felt small, yet determined. Somewhere out there, powerful beings were watching. He did not know their intentions. He only knew one thing. Humans would not be underestimated again. The whispers had begun. Across the galaxy, the name Elias Kane would spread. The story of the human who could defeat alien forces would reach ears that had never paid attention to Earth before. And soon, even the alien queen would see him not as a mere human, but as a champion. She leaned back on her throne, her eyes distant, thinking of the tiny planet where humans lived. Her curiosity had become fascination. Her fascination was growing into something more. She wanted to see the human, to understand him, to witness the strength that no one else believed existed. And thus, the stage was set. The galaxy was about to learn that humans were not weak. That one human champion, could change everything. The battle for recognition, respect, and survival had begun. And Elias Kane, unaware of the legends forming around him, prepared for the next challenge. The human spirit, fierce and unpredictable, was awakening, and nothing, not even the vast alien empire, would ever underestimate it again. The galaxy was watching. Tales of the human who could turn battles upside down had spread far and wide, reaching worlds that had never thought to notice humans before. Yet, the one person who mattered most, the alien queen, remained silent. She did not act hastily, but she observed every report, every image, every message about Elias Kane, the human champion. Her throne room was silent, filled with alien nobles who whispered nervously among themselves. The queen's eyes were sharp, cold, and calculating. She had sent her scouts and spies to Kalara, but they reported only fragments, ambushes that seemed impossible, defenses too clever to anticipate. and a human who led his people with calm precision. She leaned forward, her long fingers tapping on the armrest of her throne. "Prepare the challenge," she said. Her voice was a soft hiss that cut through the murmurs of the court. "If he is the champion, he will rise to it. And if not, we will see what makes humans so remarkable." On Kalara, Elias did not know that the galaxy's most powerful ruler had set her eyes upon him. For him, life was simple: survive, protect his people, and prepare for the next attack. The previous battle had shown that the aliens would not give up. They would return, stronger and more determined. Elias gathered his team once more. Engineers, pilots, and soldiers stood ready in the command center, the maps of enemy positions spread before them. "The aliens are learning," Elias said. "They will come back. And next time, they will try to fight us in ways we haven't seen before. But humans have a gift they don't understand. We adapt. We think differently. We survive in ways no one predicts." A young pilot, Mira, spoke up. "Captain, what if they bring more ships? What if they bring weapons that can destroy everything we have?" Elias smiled faintly. "Then we will use what we have in ways they cannot expect. Fear is not the weapon. Cleverness is. Humans are masters of turning disadvantages into advantages. Remember that." The aliens did return. Their fleet emerged in the sky like a dark storm. This time, their formations were more organized, their attacks calculated. Yet, Elias had anticipated them. Drones hidden in the cliffs, mines buried in the canyons, and decoy vehicles were all in place. But this time, the aliens had brought something new: experimental war machines capable of destroying entire sections of the colony in seconds. Explosions lit the sky as the machines advanced, and the human defenders braced for the worst. Elias did not falter. He led his team into the chaos, moving like a shadow among the explosions. Human pilots darted through enemy fire, striking at the weak points in the alien machines. Engineers triggered traps that toppled massive war machines. Soldiers ambushed alien ground forces with precision. Every human worked as one, adapting and reacting in ways no alien could predict. The battle raged for hours. But the humans were relentless. The aliens could not understand their tactics. They relied on rigid patterns, predictable formations, and overwhelming firepower. Humans were unpredictable, flexible, and clever. And Elias was the center of it all, directing the fight with calm intelligence. Above the battlefield, the alien queen watched from her flagship, hidden in a distant orbit. Her eyes followed every movement, every tactic, every unexpected strike. She had never seen a being combine strategy, courage, and adaptability in such a perfect balance. One of her advisors whispered, "Your Majesty, it is unlike anything we have ever seen. This human, he is extraordinary." The queen nodded slowly. "Yes, he is extraordinary. Prepare a personal challenge. I want to see him myself. If he is truly the champion, he will not fail." Her fleet did not attack directly this time. Instead, a single envoy ship was dispatched, carrying a message for Elias Kane, an invitation to meet the alien queen. It was framed as a test, a challenge that promised both danger and opportunity. Elias received the message cautiously. His instincts told him it could be a trap, but he understood the opportunity. If the human people were to survive and gain respect in the galaxy, he had to face it. He gathered his team. "This is different," he said. "They want me. They want to see what humans are capable of. I do not know what awaits us, but we will go together. Humans do not face challenges alone." The journey to the alien queen's flagship was tense. Every human on the transport ship felt the weight of the galaxy's eyes upon them. Massive alien vessels surrounded them, observing their every move. Yet they did not attack. Elias understood why. Curiosity had replaced fear or arrogance. The aliens wanted to see what humans could do. When they arrived, the flagship was unlike anything humans had ever seen. It was enormous, with towers that reached like spires into space. Energy fields pulsed along its hull, and alien ships hovered around it like a swarm of obedient predators. Elias and his team were escorted into the interior, where the corridors were wide, gleaming, and silent. Every step echoed, and every shadow seemed alive. They reached the throne room, where the alien queen awaited, her presence commanding and terrifying. She did not rise. She did not speak immediately. She observed. Her eyes, bright and sharp, focused on Elias, as if measuring his very soul. Finally, she spoke, her voice soft but powerful. Elias Kane, you have survived when none thought you could. You have defeated my forces in ways I did not imagine. And now, you stand before me. Are you truly the champion of your kind? Cling. Elias bowed slightly. I do not know if I am a champion. I only know what I must do. Protect my people and adapt to every challenge. That is what humans do. The Queen's expression softened slightly, a rare moment of acknowledgement. Words are easy. Actions are not. You will face my test. Show me your skill, your intelligence, your humanity. The test was not one of simple combat. The Queen did not want a fight she could predict. Instead, she presented Elias with 3 challenges, each designed to test different aspects of his mind and leadership. The first challenge was a puzzle of strategy. Elias was given control of a simulated fleet, vastly outnumbered, tasked with defending a planet against an unstoppable enemy. He studied the scenario carefully. He could see the patterns in the enemy's movements, their predictable formations. Using unconventional tactics, he feigned retreats, set traps, and guided the fleet to victory. The alien observers were silent, astonished by his ingenuity. The second challenge tested his physical abilities and quick thinking. Elias was placed in a complex environment filled with obstacles and traps. He had to navigate it without prior knowledge of the terrain. Humans were agile, adaptable, and clever. He moved swiftly, avoiding dangers while rescuing others trapped along the way. Each action was precise, showing not just skill, but care for life. The third challenge was the hardest: diplomacy. Elias had to negotiate with alien species who had been rivals for centuries, each suspicious, proud, and arrogant. Using reasoning, empathy, and honesty, he found solutions that no one thought possible. Conflicts were resolved without bloodshed, showing that human strength was not just in battle, but in intelligence and morality. The alien queen observed all 3 challenges. Her admiration grew. Humans were not just fighters. They were thinkers, problem solvers, and leaders. Elias Kane embodied everything her spies had reported, and more. When the tests concluded, she stood. Her presence filled the room with energy that pressed on every human in the chamber. She whispered, her voice low and awe-filled. So, it is true. The human champion exists. Elias did not smile. He simply nodded, understanding the weight of the moment. He had not sought fame or glory, only survival and protection of his people. And yet, the galaxy now recognized him not as a mere human, but as a champion. The alien queen extended a hand, a rare gesture of respect. You have my attention. I want to understand your people. I want to know your ways. And perhaps, I may offer a path that no one would have imagined. Elias glanced at his team. They were tense but trusting. He turned back to the Queen. We are willing to talk. Humans are open to understanding and being understood. But we will not be underestimated again. The Queen nodded slowly. Her eyes glimmered with curiosity, fascination, and something like respect. Then let the next stage begin. You have proven your mind, your skill, and your spirit. But now, I will see your true potential. That night, Elias and his team returned to Kalara. Though they had faced alien tests and challenges, Elias knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of beings who would watch, judge, and challenge humanity. But humans had a gift no one else could match: resilience, creativity, and unity. Elias understood this more than ever. He was no longer just a defender of Kalara. He was becoming a symbol, a spark that would ignite hope across human worlds. The alien queen's gaze followed him across the stars. She had seen a force she could not ignore. The human champion was real, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Elias did not yet know the adventures that awaited him. He did not know the trials, the battles, or the alliances that would come. But one thing was certain: humans were underestimated no longer. And the legend of the human champion had only just begun. The galaxy had never seen a human like Elias Kane. Tales of his victories, ingenuity, and leadership had spread to countless star systems. But none of these tales reached the heart of the alien queen's curiosity more than the fact that one human could challenge the logic, strategy, and power of her entire empire. Now, Elias stood aboard the alien queen's flagship, a colossal starship that floated like a fortress in space. The walls were gleaming, lined with alien symbols and lights that pulsed like living veins. The corridors were wide, silent, and cold, yet every step seemed alive with energy. Humans had never seen technology like this. Elias did not flinch. He had faced overwhelming odds before, and he would do it again. His team was tense but prepared. Engineers carried tools, pilots stood ready, and soldiers held their weapons. Elias turned to them. Stay close. Trust your instincts. Remember, humans survive when no one expects it. That is our strength. The team nodded. Elias's calm confidence gave them courage. They were not just humans. They were representatives of their species, a spark in a galaxy that had underestimated them for too long. The throne room of the alien queen was unlike anything Elias had imagined. It was vast, stretching higher than a city, with a ceiling that seemed to touch the stars themselves. The queen sat upon her throne, her presence commanding every corner of the chamber. Alien nobles and advisors stood around her, but their gazes were fixed on Elias. The queen rose slowly, her movements graceful but powerful. Elias Kane, she said, her voice a mixture of curiosity and awe. You have proven skill, intelligence, and moral strength. But now, I wish to see your true potential. Can one human truly rise above the limits of your kind? A betterman. Elias stepped forward. I do not seek to rise above. I seek to protect. Humans survive because we adapt, because we unite, and because we never give up. That is our strength. If you wish to test me, I will face it. But know this: humans are not defeated by fear or power. We are defeated only if we stop trying. The queen's eyes glimmered with fascination. She had studied humans for centuries, and yet this one was different. He did not fear her. He did not boast. He simply stated a truth she had never expected. The final challenge was set. Unlike the previous tests of strategy, skill, and diplomacy, this was something entirely different. Elias was to face a series of trials that combined intellect, courage, and morality. Each was designed to push him beyond the limits of any being she had ever seen. The first trial was a labyrinth in zero gravity. The walls shifted continuously, and paths that existed a moment ago vanished the next. At the center of the labyrinth lay a device that could control the ship's energy flow. If he failed, the ship would shut down vital systems, endangering both humans and aliens alike. Elias analyzed the structure. Humans could not rely on brute strength here, they needed ingenuity. He noticed subtle patterns in the shifting walls, movements that repeated with slight variations. He adapted his movements to the rhythm, guiding his team through obstacles that seemed impossible. Each step required precision, coordination, and trust. They reached the center. Elias operated the alien device with steady hands, not by brute force, but by understanding logic. The energy system stabilized, and the labyrinth receded. The first trial was complete. The second trial was a test of perception and leadership. Holographic simulations created crises across multiple planets, each with thousands of lives at stake. Alien commanders watched as Elias had mere minutes to find solutions. Most species would have panicked. Most species would have tried to solve one problem at a time. Elias saw the connections between them. The resources, the timing, the unique abilities of each colony. He coordinated responses across thousands of miles, minimizing loss and creating solutions that no alien mind could anticipate. Even the alien queen was silent. She had never seen such clarity, such understanding, such efficiency. Humans were not bound by traditional logic or ancient practices. They adapted, improvised, and overcame, often in ways the universe itself had not predicted. The third trial was the hardest. Elias was confronted with moral dilemmas that had no perfect solution. Holographic simulations of wars, betrayals, and disasters were placed before him. Every choice carried consequences. Alien logic demanded calculated sacrifices. But humans had something different: empathy, intuition, and courage to make difficult choices while considering the lives of all involved. Elias did not choose the easy path. He chose the path that preserved life, even when it meant personal risk. He negotiated, inspired, and led through example. Each decision reflected the essence of humanity: courage, intelligence, and moral strength combined. The alien queen watched, captivated. She had expected a species driven by strategy and fear. Yet this human led with wisdom, bravery, and care. She whispered, almost to herself, "It is true. The human champion exists." When the trials ended, Elias Kane stood at the center of the throne room. He was exhausted but composed. His team flanked him, proud and inspired. The alien queen approached him, her eyes glimmering with respect and fascination. "You have shown strength beyond expectation," she said. "You have not only proven yourself as a fighter, but as a leader, a thinker, and a being who embodies more than your kind is known for. Humans, you are remarkable." Elias bowed respectfully. "We are not perfect," he said, "but we survive. We learn. We grow. And we protect those we care for. That is what makes us strong." The queen nodded slowly. "I have observed many species, many champions, but none have combined skill, courage, and wisdom as you have. I underestimated humans. Perhaps the galaxy must learn to respect you." Her words were more than acknowledgement, they were a promise. Humans would no longer be dismissed as weak. One human champion had already begun to change the course of galactic perception. Back on Kalara, Elias and his team returned as heroes. The human colony had survived, stronger and more united than ever. Tales of their survival and ingenuity inspired other human colonies. Communication networks buzzed with messages of hope, courage, and possibility. Elias understood that this was only the beginning. The galaxy had noticed humans, and they would test them, challenge them, and perhaps even fear them. But humans had one advantage no other species possessed: adaptability. They could survive impossible odds, learn from every challenge, and emerge stronger. Even the alien queen, watching from her throne room, knew this now. Humans were not just a species. They were a force, a living testament to courage, intelligence, and resilience. Elias Kane was the champion, but he was also a symbol that inspired humans and commanded attention across the stars. The final act of recognition came when the alien queen summoned the galaxy's leaders to witness her announcement. In the grand hall of her flagship, representatives from countless species gathered, expecting a demonstration of alien superiority. Instead, they saw Elias Kane, standing tall, calm, and proud. The queen's voice echoed across the hall. "Behold, the human champion. You have underestimated this species for too long. Watch carefully, learn from them, and perhaps, one day, you may understand the strength of one human who rises beyond expectation." The crowd was silent. Aliens who had dismissed humans as weak now looked with curiosity, respect, and a hint of fear. The galaxy would never forget the name Elias Kane or the lesson he had delivered. That night, Elias stood on the balcony of Kalara, gazing at the stars. His journey had begun in secrecy, in doubt, and in survival. Now, the universe knew that humans were not to be underestimated. He smiled faintly, thinking of the challenges yet to come. The galaxy was vast. Threats would rise, alliances would shift, wars would continue. But humanity, guided by courage, intelligence, and moral strength, would endure. And if a single human could change the course of events on such a scale, what could an entire species achieve? The alien queen whispered again, her voice carried only to herself. "So, it is true. The human champion exists." And in that moment, the galaxy changed forever. Humans had stepped into the light of recognition, and Elias Kane, the human who had defied expectation, had become more than a champion. He had become a legend.